Greg, Ole Miss will obviously be without Lane Kiffin. How do you anticipate, if at all, them looking different on offense in this meeting?
I think we're going to find out as the game goes. And for us, you can chase too many ghosts in this game, especially on our side of the ball. I think what they've done to this point is what's gotten them here. The system they're in, the players they have, I think they're going to try to get their playmakers the football like they've done all year. I think they're going to show us maybe a few new things that we haven't seen that maybe have hurt us throughout this year. So we're kind of working on us and them. But as far as what they're going to do, I don't anticipate any changes. And then as the game goes, we'll kind of see how the flow is going.
What do you feel like is the biggest thing that this defense has to correct from that first meeting to have success in this one?
I think it's just the details. You know, that first game, I thought maybe we pressed a little bit too hard at some spots. They hit us over the top a few times. We missed some tackles a few times. And we had some chances to make plays, and we just didn't make them. And so we went back and watched the film. And you always say as a coach, it's never as bad as you think, never as good as you think. And we went back and said, man, we had a lot of opportunities to make a play that maybe would have ended a drive or got them in a 3rd and long instead of a big conversion on 2nd and 10. So our guys saw that there's plays to be made, and there's some schematic things that obviously we're going to have some answers for. But, we got to this point by doing what we do really well and by these guys playing together throughout the rest of the year. So that for us, it's just going to be get lined up, get the call, and execute.
When you faced Ole Miss, that was Chambliss's second action, second start.
Yep.
Where have you seen him grow since then?
I just think his command of the offense, I think what he does so well is he can make off-schedule plays. I mean, when you have a quarterback, what they make you do is defend the whole field. And there's teams similar to this that spread you out, but maybe their quarterback can't run the ball as well. So you know you're going to have to defend the perimeter passing game. But when they add him in the game as that +1 in the run, it changes the dynamic. It's almost like defending 12 players now. And so his ability to make off-schedule plays, even when everything's covered, scramble, get first downs, keep the chains moving. He can put the ball where he wants to. Again, they've also got a pretty good running back. They've got a really good tight end. They've got multiple receivers that create matchup issues. So I think him, along with the rest of the talent they have, man, they make you defend a lot of the field and a lot of different schemes, and they do a really good job. So for me, I just say he does a great job keeping them on track and making off-schedule plays and keeping them on the field.
Thanks. So I understand you're saying what's gotten them here is what they're probably going to run, right, in terms of personnel and the plays. But when the person who was calling the plays has kind of a unique feel for how he does it and leaves, I mean, I don't know what your impression is of him, but he seems like an aggressive coach, and the timing of when he's aggressive is kind of unique to him.
Very.
Is that the thing? Is that the one thing that could be different?
It could be, and I think when you get in this game, and everybody has a plan, right? Everybody's going to say, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, this is our plan on 3rd down, this is our red zone plan. But when you are in the fight, and it's a tempo player, it's a 4th quarter player, now you have to make the call. A lot of people go back to what they're comfortable with. And so that's the thing with having a new play caller is you don't know exactly what he's comfortable with versus what Lane was comfortable with. And so, again, we're not going to chase ghosts. I don't think they're going to add a ton of different schemes and plays. They might window dress some things. But we have rules. Every defense has a rule. There's strengths and weaknesses to every call. And if we just do what we're supposed to do, stay on top, we leverage the football, we tackle, and understand what the situation is in the game, then we're going to give ourselves a chance to succeed. And I don't want the guys having to think at all about what they're about to call. They need to get the call, get their cleats set, and go play.
So obviously Chambliss is a problem for everybody he goes against, but that was the only game he ran for over 100 yards. What in that department did you not do that needs to be a lot better?
Well, I think they ran some things schematically that maybe they hadn't run as much with Simmons, just to get him the ball, some more designed quarterback runs that we didn't quite fit out right, or maybe would fit a little bit differently now going back in the second time playing them. So they just, again, it was he hadn't played a lot. He played a little bit here and there beforehand, but now having a whole season on tape, understanding what situations they like to run the ball with him in, That's the biggest thing. So we've tweaked the things we feel like we need to tweak. There's some the same, some is a little bit different. But our guys now are a little bit more aware of the scrambling threat and the ability to pull the ball and run. And so we're going to have a little bit different plan at times. But at the end of the day, it's about getting off blocks and getting the ball carried down.
And there's obviously been a lot of talk about John Summerall being in a unique position with two schools, but you're in a somewhat unsettled position yourself as a coordinator. How do you balance that with where your future is going to be while you're preparing for such a huge game?
Well, I think you hear it all the time, be where your feet are, and you can't tell that to kids and then not do it yourself. And so for me, I've been in this position multiple times in my career, which has probably helped prepare me for it. And just, you pray about it. If you take care of your business, you treat people right, good things end up happening for you and your family. Sometimes it's not what you expect. You just don't know. And that's we all signed up for this business. So for us, it's always been about the players, putting everything we have into them. And we didn't come this far to get a participation trophy. Like, our goal wasn't just to make it here. We want to win every game we play. And so to give our guys the best opportunity, to give our coaches the best opportunity, this is I know for me, this is the first time I've ever played in a college football playoff game, been a part of one. There's not a whole lot of people around the country that get an opportunity to do this every year. It's not an average bowl game. We don't have 30 guys opting out. This is very important. And so for us, we know that at the end of this game, we're going to be a part of history one way or the other, and we get to choose what side of history we're on. But I think that starts at the top. We got to make sure that you guys stay locked and focused on what the immediate job is and worry about after, just like we're going to do.
Coach, ahead of the championship game, we had talked about seeing offenses like UTSA, FAU, and Ole Miss. Now seeing Ole Miss again, how have those past offenses kind of helped you prepare for this game?
Well, I think the more reps you get throughout the season, the more different schemes you're going to get. And I think this is a really good conference. I don't know if people really understand how good the American Conference is. And the offensive coordinators in this league, there's a reason that I think 5 of the top 15 offenses in the country or so come out of this conference. Like it's a very dynamic offense, running, passing, and they've got really good coaches that scheme. So we've seen some schemes against us that have tried to attack what we've done. We've had to correct it. We've had to coach off it. So we've seen the things that stress us, and our guys know, hey, if we're in this call, here's the strength, here's the weakness. Don't let it be a big play, but we need to stop the things we're supposed to stop. And then if we need to stop a weakness, I got to change the call. And so, it's just helped us. It's defense for us, and as a defensive back, we talk about is formation rec. That's all it is. It's the formation rec game. Knowing 2x2, 3x1, FSL, motion adjustments. You need to know what you're going to as a defender before it ever happens. And then you just you can make a call, and you've already gone through the thought process. And so there's a lot of window dressing, a lot of different things offense can do. But at the end of the day, if you just keep it simple enough for the players to understand the big picture, the concept, am I fitting off of 2? There's 2 in the box or is he out of the box? Am I in or out of the fit? You just keep it simple, and the more reps that they get, the better they get as the year goes. So that's what we've seen is just offenses try to scheme us, but our guys do a really good job responding. All right, we know what we're about to get. Let's make sure we do what we're supposed to do, play with depth, play with vision, and go break on the ball when it comes out.
And granted, you're more concerned about Ole Miss's offense, but with Pete Golding now in that head coaching role, has anything impressed you about how their defense performs?
Yeah, I think they're really aggressive. I've watched those guys. I know some guys over there on that staff and kind of watched them in the offseason and throughout the year here and there. But, man, I think they're big and physical up front. They'll get more pressure on quarterbacks with 3-man rushes than I think I've ever seen. They've got some big bodies in the middle. They're really athletic on the perimeter. They can play man-to-man and say our guy's better than your guy. With a lot of teams they play, even in the SEC, linebackers are physical. I think they do a really good job. They're aggressive when they need to be in their matchup problems. They think that they're going to win one-on-one, whether it's pass rush, whether it's on the back end, and a lot of times they do.
We talked about this with a lot of the players, and you just mentioned that this is the first time that you'll be coaching in the college football playoffs, right? For you, just personally, what does this opportunity mean, knowing that you're one of 12 teams in the country still alive?
I think it just goes to show that when you stay consistent and you trust in the process of getting better and not just outcome driven, then you have a chance to improve. And our goal at the end of the day is bring the best out of our players. Whatever their best is, it's going to be good enough more often than not. So it's our job to find a way to get the best out of them. And then whether you win or lose the game, and we always say it, if it would have hurt you in a loss, it still needs to feel like it hurt you in a win, right? So if we had to screw up, if we didn't leverage the ball, if we didn't drop where we're supposed to, like it's about us being our absolute best all the time. And when you do that, I mean, we got to this point because we went 1-0 11 times. Right? We went 1-0 11 times, and the game doesn't change because there's more cameras, there's more people in the stands. Like it's still, when the ball's snapped, football is football. They still get 4 downs. They're still gonna, they still get 6 points for a touchdown. It's just the rules don't change, and it's about us doing our job and executing. I'm more worried about our defense than I am anybody's offense we play against, because if we know our defense and we know the checks, adjustments, our leverage, where we're supposed to be, we will be fine. I don't care who we play. And so there's calls that are going to be a little bit better, a little bit worse. But this whole season's been about us getting better at our block recognition, at our pass rush, at our leverage on the perimeter, staying on top of routes. It doesn't matter what the route is. We react to it. But it's about us performing at our best every week. And the guys have continued to grow and improve as the season gone. And that's why we're here at this point, because we are not the same team we were week 2, 3, 4. We're a lot different now in a good way.
Yeah, Greg, a lot's been made of John and, him wearing 2 hats right now. From your perspective, like, how have you seen him navigate that unique situation?
I think he's been a rock star. I mean, it's probably – I think he probably makes it look easier than it is, and, it's a blessing for him. You work your whole life to get the opportunity that you feel like maybe – sets up your family and your future in the best way it possibly can, and that happens. Like there's change every year in football, and there's generally you're going to leave a school one of 2 ways, right? And it's a lot better to leave and leave it better than you found it, and winning than you're not winning enough and they get rid of you in the first place. So I think John has developed a relationship with the staff, with this community. This is his second time back. He chose to come back here. He chose to stay in the past. 2 of his children were born here. His family is so integrated in the community. Him and his wife Jenny go on walks every day around campus. I mean, he loves the players, loves the coaches. It's, there's excitement, but it is hard. And I know that there's a genuine love he has for these guys and everybody. And again, the joy in football is about watching guys grow and develop on and off the field. And there's stories about these guys that no one will ever hear in these rooms, that whether it's academics, whether it's off the field, the personal growth that they make. And that's when those relationships form. And, whether you played here 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, if you played for us, you're going to be part of our families forever. And so that's the hard part of this process and this transition. But he's handled it as well as I think he can. And, our guys know that he genuinely cares for them, about them, and he is the ultimate competitor. And I promise you, there's nobody that wants to win this game more than he does.
North Texas hadn't really allowed any pressure except for the one loss they'd had earlier in the year, and you were all over. Your guy front was all over their quarterback. How critical is that to do the same thing this week with the added problem that this guy might not be as easy to bring down if you get to him?
Yep. Well, I think it's a testament, number one, to our players and coaches. Like, they have busted their butt. And, again, we've got a lot of new pieces. And I say new. Going into the season, it was a lot of new defensive linemen, outside linebackers, and just learning how to play off of each other. You can do it in practice, but until you do it in the game and you make the calls and you get, whether it's a blitz, whether it's a 4-man rush, and you got to work with each other, sometimes there's a chemistry that has to be built in a live setting, and the more reps you get, the better you're going to get. So these guys have gotten so much better as the year has gone. I think they have a better idea of what I'm going to call in certain situations as we go, and for them, what we practice is what we're doing in the game. And so I just think we've gotten better as a unit, and I think in order to get a really good pass rush, you've got to earn the right to rush the passer. And so what we were able to do is get them into obvious passing situations where now we could go tee off and go get to the quarterback a little bit more. So those, when they're able to stay on track, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, it becomes a lot more difficult to generate a pass rush and to call certain things to generate a pass rush, because you've got to defend a little bit more. So these guys have done a really good job winning on 1st and 2nd down, which has afforded them the right to go rush the passer on third down, and they've taken advantage of it and won their one-on-one. So it's been fun to watch. Thank you, guys.